Don't make these mistakes in Path of Exile 2. Today I got 16 awesome tips for the perfect start. Stay tuned for that. What's up guys, I'm Franky Boy. On this channel I'm covering everything regarding open world games and action RPGs such as PoE 2, but my channel is also famous for The Witcher. If you want to check that out as well, you're more than welcome, because Christmas time is The Witcher time, but you're here for Path of Exile. Now, first of all, please take note that you will not take too much out of this video if you are experienced in Path of Exile or Path of Exile 2. So this is really for beginners taking their first step in the game, bringing you quality of life and more. Without further ado, tip number 1. The most important thing I did in this game is, of course, to change the keyboard settings, and I immediately switched options, input, and toggle the keyboard input to WASD. It's the most important thing ever, so you can freely cast while moving. Otherwise, it's just a pain. And I can really see a lot of you guys struggling out there with their classes, having like problems with moving and aiming at the same time. I think WASD should be the standard for all of us. Tip number 2, you can actually do a dodge roll. Now, this wasn't in Path of Exile. Now it's there in PoE 2. Same for Diablo 4, it's there while it wasn't there in Diablo 3. So dodge rolling can really save you in some situations, and you can also like dodge roll around bosses and be in melee even if you are a ranged class. Sometimes it's really handy, especially as a frost mage. Tip number 3, take a look at the map. That's crucial. So open up your map with U, and then you take a look at those bosses with a little cross next to them. Those grant permanent upgrades. So this gives you 2 weapon sets and passive skill points if you do the Crowbell. Totally do so. Take a look at your map if you did everything, and I have still like the crop circle missing. I might do that and get back to the farming lands, though I'm a little bit over leveled for that. Tip number 4, switch your map settings. Go to interface, go to map, and then landscape visibility all the way to the left. As you can see on the top right, it really changes the minimap, and the map transparency all the way to the right, so you don't have like unnecessary landscape. You simply reduce it to the movable spaces you can be in. Why is that so awesome? Simply take a short look at the map, you know anything you need to know, you know where to go. It's great. No more struggling and finding stuff in endless hours of watching the maps. Tip number 5, use your town portal. I mean, it's short and simple, but it's on the bottom right. Super important. You will be full quite a lot of times. Simply use it, do your well run, sell some stuff, and then go back to the portal. Tip number 6, next up, next keybind. All right, options, input, and then you do this. Microtransaction shop on U, world screen, which is the map, on M. Why the heck would you put like the map on U and microtransactions on M? Nobody would do it. M is map, it's not world screen. But a lot of you guys maybe slipped into this microtransaction store. It could be. To me, it's much more intuitive now with pressing M, since it's like that in all of the other games. Oh, and by the way, you can only port from waypoints, and of course using the portal, going home, and then use a waypoint. That's possible as well. You can also switch between the acts on the top here on the map if you are at the waypoint. Tip number 8, it's pretty important to go and search through those vendors after every level up you got. Simply check them out. It's super important, and you might be actually getting an upgrade there. Now, my recommendation is to go through it and simply browse for yellow items. Maybe that's the case, maybe not. And then I would go on and check out the next vendor. And yeah, he got something yellow with energy shields, increased energy shield, fire resistance, and life per second. While I have energy shields and lightning resistance on mine only. Might be worth a buy. You know what? I'll get it. See, I'm using my own tips. They must be right. Now, it's great that I got this one, but my current one has quality. I can use that to show you in a later tip what we'll do with the old one. For now, I'll keep it. Tip number 9. Go to escape options interface. Show mini life bar above you, and for mini life bar as well for the enemies only. In my opinion, that's super handy. Because now, let's quickly go here in this area maybe. You can see that my life bar is just above my character. It's extremely handy. And now enemies you hit, they will also have like this life bar. And as you can see at the vial hack, it just has lost a little bit of life and now all the life is gone. Super handy to just take note of that. You have more info available, which is always great. Not unnecessary info, not like that, but it will really improve your actions because you know all about your life and your resource all the time. Quite nice. Tip number 10, press Alt. Why is that? Go over an item and press Alt, and then you can inspect it, and then you can hover over certain stats like attacks. Wow, how informative is that? Or energy shield. Super handy to just use it to get more info out of the stuff you own. Or the stuff you want, of course, at the vendor. Oh, and by the way, you can press Shift to compare those items. You can see that there. I mean, it's already written there in the inventory, so maybe you missed it. Now, skills are the most important thing in Path of Exile, and you really want to take them to the next level. You get like this skill gem, then you can take out the skill and move it down there, or you click here, and you can also improve your skills. It's quite crucial to get the support gems. If you're new to PoE, support gems aren't like making you a support class, but they are supporting the certain skill you use, and they can really bring your gameplay experience to the next level, e.g. more freeze build up on the Frost Nova, which is awesome, or the Ice Nova. Also, I have like this energy barrier support gem right here, so while I'm using Ice Nova, I will get the energy again. And I mean, I use it when I need crowd control, so I will be in a situation where it could be handy to get some of the energy shield back. Quite nice to get those synergies going for your certain build. Anyways, you should totally consider synergies, e.g. when playing a mage, you can like use the bolts and fire them through fire, and they will become fire electro. Or you will use frost and build up more frost. It really depends on your own build though. Alright, back to Clearfell. Now for the start, flat damage is really awesome for most of you guys, except if you're using spells. Spells are no attacks, and like this ring, it adds physical damage to attacks, but my spells are no attacks. So this ring is totally trash for me, while it would be awesome for most of the damage hitting classes, like attack damage hitting classes. And at the beginning of the game, that's really a thing you want. You want, of course, also weapons with more attack damage. You can really see the differences they would make. While I don't need that for my build, most of you guys are gonna need it. So take a look out for plus damage. Now, tip number 14. While in the city, you will, of course, first go to the well to fill up your flasks as well as your charms. But also, of course, decide on whether to buy or sell items. Most of the time, you will likely sell them. You can also fast sell them with a control click, or you would rather disenchant them, of course only blue and upwards, to upgrade your other items, but as well like the salvage bench. It's so important, and you get it in Orkham Village from a quest called Finding the Forge. And once you found the forge in Orkham Village, then you will be like encountering, of course, some funny thing, and you will get the salvage bench. And with the salvage bench, you can then dismantle this. And let me quickly show you. Put it in the inventory. I told you, yeah, I got this new one. I want to dismantle that here, and I got 2 of the armorer's scraps, so I can now use it on my new robe. And I got the quality to +8, and I got it upgraded again. Quite handy thing. So yeah, this robe is now better than it was before even. And of course I can check if I can upgrade it further, but it seems like that's all I can do for now with the new robe. While you need to take note, of course, the old one is gone now. Also, not only you can salvage items with quality, but with sockets as well. Now, when you're in the city, you'll most likely have or haven't seen, like, you don't need these scrolls of wisdom at all. You can totally sell them. I mean, they're only like 2 gold per one, but you can go to the hooded one and either control left click here, or simply talk to him and identify items then, and you will identify all unidentified items. Quite handy stuff, right? Hopefully you got something out of this PoE 2 bloody beginner guide, and you're now slashing through enemies without pain, watching the map, having full visibility, dodging around them while having full control over your character, which is super important in my opinion, especially when it comes to those server lags. Let's see. Oh man, this latency is insane. Well, yeah, that's it for me now. Seems like not the best timing to record a video about PoE 2 when the servers perform that way. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hopefully see you in the next video. Feel free to check out my Witcher videos as well. I made plenty of them, and Christmas time is Witcher time. If you didn't check it out, do so. Witcher 3 is the best game ever, and also this video right here, it will likely be recommended to you guys, and I will speak to you in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye.